Radio Bypass, bringing you rock and roll music that deserves to be heard. Discover new bands. Here's some old favorites on Radio Bypass.
Hey, rockers. With a new album, we have a returning guest today. Please welcome Drew Cagle to Radio Bypass. How you doing, Drew?
Hey, what's up, man? How's it going?
Pretty good. It's going well. Glad to have you back, man. Last time you were here, you had one single that you were promoting at that time. And you kind of gave us the story on Drew Cagle and the Reputation. And I just love that song, which was all figured out. And now I'm so happy. Fast forward to January 31st, 2025. We see the release of a brand new album, Bad Attitude.
Yeah, man. So, we kind of set the tone last summer with All Figured Out. And, I think I even kind of mentioned in our last interview that the importance of releasing a full record and listening to the whole record in one sitting, how much that was really important to me. And so when it came down to figuring out how we were going to release this record, a bunch of people wanted us to do singles, and we were figuring out a bunch of different ways to do that. And ultimately just came down to me saying, you know what, I don't want people to, if people are going to be invested, we're going to give them the whole thing right when they want it the most. And so I didn't want to kind of tease you guys for another couple 3 months at a time and only give you little pieces of the story. I wanted to give you the whole story. So I'm glad that we got to drop the whole thing, and it's been remarkable to see how excited people were to actually hear this whole thing, front to back.
Yeah, that's awesome, Drew. I'm really happy for you. And this week, as we're talking, you're releasing the title track as a single. And that is featuring somebody that a lot of people know on guitar is Traci Guns. How did that come together?
That was a really cool one. Probably about early 2024. I had pretty much the entire Bad Attitude record finished. It's 8 songs. So I had everything finished except for the title track of the record, which was Bad Attitude. And we were kind of stuck on it in the studio. It was weird. We felt like the song Bad Attitude was just kind of missing a little bit of that grit and nastiness and attitude that's supposed to represent an album called Bad Attitude. So me and Matt, my producer, were a little uneasy on it. We were trying to figure out what was left we needed to do with it. We kind of felt stumped by it because every single other song on the record just came together so quickly, just really easily. And that one was one of those that it just kind of felt like we had to hold its hand all the way through the process to get it to where it needed to go. Mm-hmm. And we ended up doing some shows with LA Guns in February of 2024. And we opened the shows with the song Bad Attitude. And at the end of the run of shows with them, me and Traci got to talking a little bit, and we hit it off. And he had loved our opening sets for LA Guns. And one thing led to another, and once we both got off the road, we started talking back and forth. Once he got back to LA, and we got back. I got back down to Nashville to finish up the record, and he ended up. I said, "Hey, Traci, what'd you think about playing on this song?" And man, he immediately was like, "Oh yeah, let's do it, brother. It'll be a blast." And it was one of those things that I was. Like I said, we were worried about it, and we were wondering what it was missing, and it turned out the only thing that was missing was Traci Guns. So we figured it out, and it just came out swinging, and it became one of those songs that I thought might not make it to the record or might need a little bit of work to, like you said, the lead single for when the album comes out. So.
Gotcha. Well, I am pretty confident that when people hear this song, they're going to love it. And we will absolutely add it to the end of our conversation here. And you guys that listen to the music show every Saturday will definitely be playing it this coming Saturday, whatever that is, February 22nd, I think is the date. And I can't wait for everybody to hear this song because it absolutely kills.
Yeah, I remember when I heard his track for the first time. We had our performances together and we had laid the groundwork for it. And like I said, it just felt like it was missing something. And I just remember hearing Traci's guitar for the first time playing right over that intro in the beginning of that song, and just everybody in the room just came alive. It was just everyone just sat up in their chairs, and we were like, "Oh my gosh, we might have something here." And Traci just put on an absolute masterful feature track. And I said to somebody the other day, normally you would never expect someone who's been in the business for this long as Traci has, had hits in the 80s and 90s, come and join this young kid's rock record in 2024 and 2025 and lay down a guitar track that sounds like the cutting edge of rock and roll. And that's just a testament of why, whenever when we intro Traci Guns, we call him a legend, because that's exactly what he is.
Yeah. Yeah. No, that's great. In fact, they've got a new song out that's really, really good too right now, too. I just have to throw that out there. I can't think of the title off the top of my head right now, but it's really good.
I think it was like Taste It or something. It's off their new Leopard Print
Maybe. Yeah. I
record. Yeah.
can't remember, but yeah, it's a great song. That might be the title. But no, that's really great. And I assume whatever you had laid down, then Traci listened to that and kind of came up with his own twist on it, then his own part.
Yeah, kind of. It was one of those things that it honestly, it just felt like it was Traci being Traci. I mean, it was one of those things that it was, we're talking about attitude, we're talking about danger, we're talking about what makes a rock and roll song. And, like I said, Traci embodies that rock and roll spirit. So, I think there was definitely some elements of it that, he planned to add that made him sound like himself, but there was also elements of it that you could tell it was just effortless. It was just Traci plugging in his guitar, listening to the track, probably listened to it like knowing Traci, he probably listened to it maybe once or twice and said, all right, I got this from here. And then and you could hear him. He's just playing lead licks all over the track. He's playing off my vocals. It was one of those things that it just felt more like he felt the song than he overthought it. And that's what makes a great rock song.
For sure. I totally agree with you. Well, that's awesome. Well, I'm glad that's going to be out there this week as the leadoff single for this. That's cool. And then also, though, you did have, I believe you did a video for this. The song "She Said," has that been released as a single as well?
Yeah. So the whole record's out on streaming and all that stuff like that, and it's available. The physical copies are on our website and stuff too. But what we did pretty much was we knew we were going to wait a little bit to push the Bad Attitude single with Traci Guns. So what I wanted to do was I wanted to shoot another video, kind of like we did the All Figured Out video last summer. But we weren't able to quite get a video for the Traci Guns song just because he was over in LA and we were here in the Midwest. So we wanted to shoot another video. And in my thought process, I took a listen to the record, and one of the songs that I thought never really got a fair chance, just in my career, that was "She Said." And "She Said" is one of those songs that we actually cut off the Haunted EP that we first came out with, and I've had in my catalog for so long. And so it was one of those things that I said, well, why don't we already came out rocking with All Figured Out. Let's give them another video and show them a different side of us. Let's show them a more, emotional side that is a little bit more about storytelling and still has some rock roots in it that you can feel. And I thought the perfect song for that was "She Said." So we just shot another video to kind of get some people excited for the first couple weeks before we were aiming up to make this big push with Bad Attitude.
Gotcha. Well, that's cool, man. I'm really excited. And then I mentioned to you before we started the official chat here that upon my first couple of listens of the album, I still have to sit down with it some more. But one of my early favorites is "So Cold." I think that song is just smoking. And I know when you were here last time, we talked some about your songwriting, and you really put a lot of thought into what you write. So I wondered if you could expound a little bit about that song.
Yeah. So, I kind of mentioned we talk a lot about some of our favorite parts of of songs and songwriting being the little nuances that you put into the stories and the thought behind creating the song. One of the cool things about this album is it is filled with so many background stories. It's I call it our debut album. You know, the first one was the Holland EP. This is our debut. Um, just not as a combination of it's our first Nashville professionally done record, but um, it's also a perfect example of who I am. So the title of the record, Bad Attitude, is actually based off of my dad's band from the 90s. So back before I was ever born, my dad was in a band. He played around Central Illinois. You know, they never toured or charted or anything like that, but you know, they gave it a shot, and they played some backyard parties and some venues around, and had a good time. But their band name was Bad Attitude, and so that kind of inspired the name of the record, considering my band's called The Reputation. So I have this thing where we can combine Drew Cagle The Reputation with my history of it being in the family of us having a bad attitude. So I combined those. I created the song Bad Attitude to go with the record. And when I decided to do this, as I'm sure you found out quickly from getting to know me, is I'm not one of those guys that half-asses anything. You know, I'm going to go all in when it comes to something. So I actually grabbed and covered one of my dad's old songs from his band Bad Attitude that he did back in the day, and that song was So Cold. And so when it came to that song, you know, I mean I rewrote the lyrics a little bit and rearranged some parts of the song, but the gist of it was written by my dad, Lance Cagle, and his bandmate Troy Hobbs. And so it was written by them. I rewrote the verse lyrics. The chorus was done by them. My dad actually used to sing backup vocals for it on their original recording that I had found in just a cassette tape buried under a bunch of boxes sometime in the basement. Just nobody had played it in years, and it was one of those things that I found, and I had to hunt down a cassette player somewhere, and I put it in. I heard this song, and I was like, man, you know, I feel like that song has something to it. And, you know, I brought it to my dad, and I told him, I said, hey, I want to cover this. And he wasn't really into the idea. He's like, you know, let old songs be old songs. You know, you do what you do best, and create new stuff. And it was one of those things where I didn't let him have a choice in it. And I said, well, you know what, whether you can see it or not, I have a vision for this song. And so I was just glad that I was able to take it and take a song that was theirs and make it my own. And that was an exciting thing to do for the record. So it was really cool to see so many people just in the first couple of weeks of the release be like you and say, man, that So Cold song was pretty cool. And so it was great to see that kind of risk I took for technically my first ever cover song. Actually worked out pretty well and fit really nice at the number 4 spot on the record.
Yeah. Well, good job, and tell your dad good job as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I really like that tune a lot. In fact, my early inclination when I heard this is like, this should probably be the next single, you know, if there is another one. Wow.
Well, that's a huge compliment. Yeah, I mean, it's one of those songs that I feel like it was, you know, I always work best under pressure, and it was one of those songs that there was the pressure on it because it's a cover song, and I think it was one of my best vocal performances on the record, and I think lyrically, rewriting some of the verses to kind of change the theme a little bit of the song to be a little bit more deeply rooted in heartbreak and stuff like that, to connect to like I said, the storytelling part of the record that connects with some of these songs that come after it, like She Said and Wine Talking and stuff. And If It's Not Love, I think that it was one of those songs that, you know, one way or another became a glue piece for the record.
Gotcha. Yeah, I think I agree with you on that as well. You know, you mentioned Haunted, the EP. And I know when you were here last time, you had mentioned that you didn't feel that that was totally, truly a great representation of what Drew Cagle and the Reputation is all about. 100% wasn't quite exactly what you wanted. How do you
Yeah.
feel about this record? Do you feel that now you've got exactly what is the right representation that you wanted? And is this record making you feel like, yeah, this is what I want my record to be?
Yeah, absolutely. It was one of those that, and I knew that pretty early in the process. Um, when I met up with Matt Coles, the producer for the Eagles, and the guy who helped me make this record, um, it was one of those things that when we first talked about it, I had my vision, and I said, this is what I want to do. And we talked about it for legitimately maybe 15 minutes, and then he got it. And there was never another conversation that had to be had again in the entire recording process. We were both absolutely on the same page, and we hit the ground running. We were both passionate about it, and I think it got to, no artist is ever going to think something they create is perfect. And
Right.
I'm not going to sit here and tell you that I made a perfect record. I can't say that, but I think it's damn close. I think it's as close as I could have gotten at the point in time in my life to a perfect record. And yeah, I think it represents me perfectly. It has, like I said, it has all these roots into who I am as a person and my history, uh, and hopefully it'll be a piece that not only connects to me in my history, that it'll hopefully be an essential part of my legacy. So I hope that it was one of those things that when Haunted came out, people didn't necessarily get it, and I mentioned that in the last one.
Hmm.
Uh, when this album came out, in the first 2 days, people got it. It wasn't the same way. It wasn't like there was a message and a story that was harder to understand, or that really needed to dig into it. If you listen to this whole record with an open mind, you can get it. You can understand where I'm coming from. It's a lot easier to um, soak in and receive. And so that was one of the really important things when it came to creating the record and wanting it to be something special. But I think at this point in time, um, when the album's only been out 2 weeks and we've broken almost every single record that we've even gotten close to having, and it's
Yeah, let's
already.
talk about those stats a little bit because I don't have them all. I didn't write them all down, but I know you've had what, like 600,000 streams or something.
Oh yeah, you're putting me on the spot here. I think
Well, I
I
figured maybe
think
you got it in front of you. Maybe you got it handy.
no. I think totally, at where we are about right now, I think it's about 650,000 streams in total, including what we did with All Figured Out, um, which is incredible since the album has only been out for about 2.5 weeks. And so we had that. Um, and we have over 200,000 music video views on She Said. Uh, we've got probably close to 100 or
Uh,
150
here,
on All
here,
Figured Out.
here we go. I cheated and pulled up your post because I was so happy for you. So you listed 650,000 plus streams
All right,
for
I got that one.
a million plus artist streams on Spotify alone,
Hmm.
and 200K for She Said music video views, all within 2 weeks. So yeah, that's awesome. I am so happy for you.
Thank you. Yeah,
But
it was one, like I said, it was one of those things that people got it, and you can tell that people get it when they don't just stream one song, right? So
right,
if the album came out and they only listened to one song, then that means one of two things: they only like one song on the record, or they only they only had the attention span to listen to one. And it
right.
was one of those things that when the album first came out, in the first week or so, um, they were all the songs were together, and in the first few days, all growing at the same rate. So to be able to have that many people put on the record and choose to listen to all 8 songs straight, um, not only means that they get what I was trying to do, but they got invested in the story that I was trying to tell, which is the best compliment I could ever have as a songwriter.
Sure. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Well, that's fantastic. I'm so happy to hear that. And guys, streaming's great. Please stream it. Give him, make his numbers rise some more. But also go buy the CD. That really helps musicians a lot when you buy the physical product. And you can get a physical copy of Bad Attitude at drewcagle.com, and highly recommend that you do.
Yeah, and we also have for the first time ever, we finally have vinyls out. So we have a very limited run of vinyls for the Bad Attitude album, and I'm one of those guys that, like I said, I want the album to be an experience for you. I want it to create memories, and um, and that's what I think a vinyl does best. You get to unwrap the vinyl, you get to open it up, you get to read the vinyl notes. There's things about it that are different than the CD, or different about it than you could ever see on streaming. So you get to learn new things about the band and the artist, and you can sit there and you can read the lyrics as the song's going on, and that's how you kind of invest in it. And you get the crackle and pop of the vinyl. You can smell how it smells. It's something huge you can hold in your hands. It goes across all the senses. I mean, I don't know if you're gonna taste the album, but besides that, you'll pretty much dig it. If you're tasting vinyls, it's probably not the best move. This isn't a Vixen record, so you don't need to be licking anything. But we'll either way, the vinyls are for sale. We did the cool thing this time that there's an insert on there that it kind of continues the idea of the front cover, which are all these crazy different articles about the band and stuff like that.
Which is kind of showing here on your screen, right?
Yeah, which you can kind of see there. Yeah. And we kind of continue that idea with the lyric sheets, where they're kind of posted on an evidence board, kind of like the style of, The Reputation, and people, there's just something wrong and stuff like that. And so there's a bunch of different things. There's some pictures of me and Traci, hidden in the background. There's an old poster from my dad's band, Bad Attitude, from the 90s. There's a bunch of different little Easter eggs and stuff like that you can find on there that are really cool for the listener. And it was one of those things that I wanted to make the vinyl something special, because whenever I buy a vinyl or I listen to my favorite band, it's always cool to see the new little surprises and things that make it special. So we only made 100 of them. They are selling out pretty quick. So if you'd like to get a vinyl, I'd recommend go and get one now. I'm sure hopefully we'll do some more printings down the line. But as far as the actual first printing of the vinyl goes, it's available right now online.
Awesome. Well, that's good. So yeah, drewcagle.com, and it's CAGLE. .com. No, that's cool, man. I'm glad you were able to get vinyl, because that's been a little bit of a challenge the last few years too. Being able to get them produced hasn't been so easy.
Oh yeah, it was definitely a struggle. We wanted them for the first EP, and we had so many fans just from the last probably 5 years asking us constantly, when are you going to have a vinyl? When are you going to have a vinyl? And it was one of those things that I didn't care what had to happen. I was going to get vinyls for the fans that really wanted them. So I made sure we got them for everybody. So make sure you go out and you check them out. And I hope you enjoy everything we did with them.
That's great. Was there anything else that you would like to talk about your new release? Anything else we should know?
I don't really know if there's much more. I'd say the main thing is kind of what I said earlier. When you listen to the record, try to make an experience out of it. Whether I don't know where you live, put it in the CD player, put it on your phone, roll the windows down, drive real fast on a country road. Do something that you can make memories with. Have a couple people over, say, let's have a couple beers, and if the album's good, we'll have a great time. If it sucks, we can make fun of this guy. Just do something that makes it fun. Like I said, get a vinyl, experience it. Just make some memories with it, because like I always say, I say this all the time. Memories are the greatest currency we have in this life, And if I can give you a one singular memory, then I did what I was supposed to do with this record. So all I really ask is that when you listen to these albums, you make some memories with them.
Nice. I like that. I like that sentiment very much. And guys, I think that'll be easy to accomplish too. Having listened to this record a few times so far, it's great. You'll love it. And I know Drew's going to be working hard, trying to be able to get shows booked too. So hopefully, sometime we'll be able to see Drew near where we live or something.
Yeah.
That's always challenging these days. You know, I know people get asked all the time, you're gonna come to my town. Well, somebody's got to help me come to that town.
Yeah, I mean, so far, I can't give out a little bit too much information, but we do have some pretty big shows booked for the summer, or just throughout this year. We have some exciting shows for the fans, especially in the Midwest, and we're going to try our best to get out to some of those like over like your way and some more farther away cities across the U.S. Kind of like we did last year. So we're going to try our best to get out there, and we're going to hopefully make some memories together along the way.
Good. Yeah, and follow Drew on social media. I do, and I see he's been doing a great job keeping us informed on what's going on with the band and with this terrific record. And so if it's okay with you, Drew, I would like to play Bad Attitude, the song from the album. And if it's okay, I'd love to also play So Cold for people to check out. What do you think?
Absolutely. Feel free to play whatever you'd like.
All right, awesome. Well, everybody, we've been talking with Drew Cagle from Drew Cagle and The Reputation. Please visit drewcagle.com. Follow the band on social media. When they do get to a town near you, go check them out live. You will not be disappointed. Get this record, either the vinyl before it sells out or the CD, but either way, grab yourself a physical copy. And if you want to stream it first, you'll hear how good it is, and you'll want to have it in your library for the years to come. It's one of those records that you'll want to listen to now, and you want to still listen to it 10 years from now. That's how good this thing is. So check out Bad Attitude from Drew Cagle and The Reputation. And Drew, thanks for coming by Radio Bypass.
Thanks for having me, man. It's always a blast.
Yeah, same here, buddy. All right, here you go, everybody. We're going to start out with the title track, Bad Attitude, and then it's going to go right into my current favorite song from the record, So Cold. Drew Cagle and The Reputation. Let's rock.